How you doing, guys? I believe you. Here's something you don't know about me. I have an irrational fear, a paralyzing fear, that if it's cold enough outside, other people can see my farts. Shit. I would test this, like pulling my scarf taut over my mouth and then blowing. Shit, you can see it. It's terrible. I just don't want anybody to see me walking down the street and think, this guy looks like a Mario Kart character, just puffing away. Oh, I forgot to tell you, also when I fart, I shoot turtle shells out of my pants. So that's a factor. I watch too much TV, you guys. Thank you. I figured this out when I was hanging out with some friends. We were enjoying some exquisite hardcore gangster rap. And it occurred to me that I think it's high time for the Mythbusters to do a hip-hop lyrics episode. I think this needs to happen. Imagine one of them coming on and saying, "We built a contraption where if our calculations are correct, we should be able to tell whether or not the dick does in fact run so deep that it will put her ass to sleep." We're also going to tackle a viewer myth. What is the probability that out of 99 problems, a bitch isn't going to be one of them? I had a nice lady come up to me after a set one time and she said, "I just want you to know, myth confirmed." And then she walked away. I had no idea which one she was either a mean lady or she had a sleepy butt. I'm not sure. Too much TV. This was really driven home for me when I realized that whenever I'm doing a task really well, I imagine that someplace, sequestered off in a room, there's a woman huddled over a monitor and she's watching me do that task. And at some point, when I'm really just doing it, she leans over her shoulder and she says, "He needs to see this." And then some lackey runs out of the room. A few minutes later, a very important looking gentleman comes in. He leans over her shoulder and looks at the monitor. How long's he been at it? 5 minutes. Has he cried yet? Not a drop. You mean to tell me that that man has successfully, without shedding a tear, folded a fitted bedsheet in under 5 minutes? That's what I'm telling you, sir. Oh my God. He's the one. That's where my head's at. I think it's from being a child of the 80s, and the 80s movie. I mean, you've got kids playing a video game innocently, minding their own business, and they finish the video game, and all of a sudden appears next to them an alien being. And he says, "Congratulations, that was no video game. That was a flight simulator. You've basically just proven that you're the last starfighter that can save our world." And then you're whisked off to some land and you're the last starfighter. You're not a teenager anymore. It's better than religion. Because it's not some person watching you and waiting for you to fuck up. It's people watching you and waiting for you to fucking rule. For example, over the summer, I'm mowing my lawn. And I live my life with this philosophy that there's always someone watching me, waiting for me to rule. So I'm mowing my lawn and I see this little bee on the ground. And I stop the lawnmower for a second and I let him go. I don't want to run him over with the lawnmower. And in my head, just then, a UFO appears over me and sucks me up into the UFO. They whisk me off to this idyllic utopia where they treat me like a prince for all of my generosity and consideration. Because you see, bees aren't actually insects from this planet. I don't know if you guys know this. Bees are actually little robots with cameras in them. And they fly around the planet looking for people that fucking rule. And when they find them, then you're whisked off. Maybe think about that the next time you want to change lanes without using your goddamn turn signal and your red Challenger. Who drives this fucking car? It's like the fucking affliction t-shirt of automobiles. I'm sorry. Okay, that was aggressive. So I'm gonna lighten things up a little bit. You guys want to learn a game that you can play at home?
Yeah!
All right, cool. This is super fun. The next time someone's blathering on about something inane, just running their mouths, just start dancing. But without making any facial expression whatsoever. Really get in there. Give you guys some. You are so welcome. Now, eventually, that person's going to want to know what the hell's going on. That exchange should go something like this. What the hell's going on, man? Oh, this? This is expressionless dancing. Don't worry. It's not distracting me from how much I wish you would shut your goddamn mouth. I'm going to leave you guys with this. My wife woke me up very early this morning just to tell me that there was a spider this big, she did this with her hand, in the basement. I believe my wife, so that shit freaked me out. Went downstairs to investigate. What do you think I found? Tiny little, borderline adorable, really, as far as spiders go. Right down there in the basement. And that got me thinking. The world would be a much better place if women judged penis size the same way that they judge spiders. I mean, if you see my penis, I want you to feel like you should probably go wake someone up in order to help you deal with it.